emazweni bathanda ukuthetha ngawe wendiyavuma ukwakiyo inhlobo khawusondela pandikukelele abufundela ukuba intombi khawusondela pandikuhlebele.
Yes, that's how Monday should be. You know, you gotta start your Monday strong. You gotta start your Monday with energy. You gotta own it. You gotta own this week. You gotta tell it that it's my week and I'm gonna win and I'm gonna do the best I can to be the best version of me this week. And then the next week you do the same thing. Welcome to WNHH 103.5 FM. You are here on Thabisa and Friends, and I'm here with my friends. And if they're not my friends, it's either I'm friendly with them, and if I'm not friendly with them, they are going to become my friends. Any of those. All right. So I'm happy to hear I have this wonderful guest today, and I've been wanting to get a hold of you guys and just have a conversation with you. And now finally I found you, and you guys are here with us today. And there's so much that I want to know about your company. There's so much that I want to know about what's happening in the neighborhood, and as well as my colleague, my friend Cliff is here. So let me just introduce you guys a little bit. I have here today Caroline Smith and Margaret Lee, and they are the co-founders of Collab, and which is an organization that equips entrepreneurs with confidence, resources, and skills to build new ventures that contribute to the economy, and as well as the vibrancy of our community. They are visionaries. These guys are here, the guys that I have here today. They envision a greater New Haven where civically activated businesses run by people of color and women entrepreneurs help create community wealth, livelihoods for families, and structural change. Welcome, guys. Welcome to the show, Caroline and Margaret.
It's so wonderful being here. Thank you so much for inviting me to come hang out.
Yes, I am happy to have you guys here. And yes, I have my friend, like I said before, Clifford. Clifford is gonna talk about what's on his table and what's gonna be happening and how he's surviving through COVID times and how he's making ends meet. And also if he has anything new that's coming up that we need to know about, Welcome, Cliff.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's nice being here.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. I feel honored to have you guys as my guests today. So let me start with you ladies. Ladies first to say, right? I want to know, what is Collab? People out there, not everybody knows Collab. Tell me, what is Collab and how long have you guys... Okay, I'm going to ask you 3 questions. What is Collab? How long? And who came up with this idea? I'm curious.
Awesome. Yeah, great questions. It's so great to be here. It's great to meet you, Clifford, and I'm so excited to hear you perform. So what is Collab? Collab is a program that supports local entrepreneurs. Our main heart and our main mission is to create an environment and create an ecosystem where civically activated organizations that are run by women, people of color, and immigrants can thrive, contributing to their own individual wealth for themselves, their families, but also community wealth through good local jobs, and also as a coalition of business leaders also contribute to structural change. So that's the heart of our vision, and we do that through programming, through partnerships with different organizations. And your second question, so what is Collab? Your second question was? Oh, looks like you're on mute.
Excuse me. So yes, what is Collab? And this all sounds great. My mind is already exploding. Being an immigrant myself, and coming from a space where I know collecting or building wealth can take forever, and starting now is better than not at all, right? But I was asking as well, who came up with this idea, or that you guys should do this, this great initiative? Like, who came up with this idea, and how long has Collab been?
Yeah, so Caroline and I started off not with any particular idea about starting a program like this, but by running an event series for 1.5 years where we were bringing people together and just so first the real mission of that event series was to bring college students and New Haven residents together and build a space where people could come together and brainstorm together, meet one another, work on projects together, and sort of build relationship. And In doing that, we just saw so many people come to us with so many awesome ideas that we were like, these should be funded, these should be supported. They could stand alone as their own business or their own nonprofit, like, or their own project. And so given that, we kind of looked at the landscape of different resources that were available. We asked folks why they haven't participated in some of the other programs that already exist. And we learned a few things about, the narrative of entrepreneurship needing to be pushed beyond a certain kind of story that we tell about what entrepreneurship is or what it can be. We needed to make space for folks of color, entrepreneurs of color, especially Black and Brown entrepreneurs, women entrepreneurs who face specific obstacles and barriers to participating in programs as well as gaining access to different resources. And so, okay, given that, can we create something that helps these folks, our friends and our neighbors who we had gotten to know, get more connected to the ecosystem, find more confidence, build more relationships so that they can build stuff out to create livelihoods for themselves and contribute to their own communities. So it was kind of an organic process that came out of this event series and just like a ton of conversations that we were having with a lot of different entrepreneurs.
Right. Wow, that's just beautiful. That's just wonderful. I am happy for you guys, and I'm happy for what you're doing for this community. And I've been seeing a lot of people emerging and coming out and being supported by your by Collab, and that's just amazing to see. Now, tell me, what kind of ideas do you guys support? What kind of ideas do you guys support?
Yeah, great question. So we don't focus on any specific industry, with the exception of food. So we run 3 programs per year, and 2 of the programs are totally general. So any different kind of idea. We get a lot of sort of education-based initiatives, individuals that want to work with young people. We get a lot of food. We get sometimes products or applications as well, but we don't focus on any specific industry outside of 1 program per year. We partner with City Seed and we do a food business accelerator. One thing we do focus though on is early stage ventures. An early stage, there's no hard and fast rules on what an early stage venture is, but essentially we think let's support individuals who have an idea, that has a little bit of proof or validation of that idea. They've sold something before, they've hosted an event, they cooked in their kitchen for many, many years and distributed their delicious food. They have some evidence that this has some legs. And they also have the passion and the energy to see it through. And oftentimes the folks that come our way are neighborhood leaders in their own communities and have that sort of internal drive within themselves to make something happen, not only for themselves, but for the folks they love. And then the reason why we focus specifically of all the different kinds of industries we could focus on was food in partnership with City Seed is because food's a really accessible industry. One, New Haven is not only an entrepreneurship city, but it's a food hub, it's a food destination. And lots of different folks can have a lot of experience just by cooking in their kitchen with their families. And so especially if you want to do catering or eventually want to start a food truck, it can be a fairly accessible industry to get into. And so, and we were getting so many applications our way. And City Seed has started a pilot program of a food business incubator, specifically with immigrant refugee chefs. And then they wanted to expand it to include other entrepreneurs. So that's the one program we do have that is around food.
Oh wow, this is just mind blowing. It's amazing. So another thought I had was, we hear collab and we see all these people that are emerging in their businesses that are starting off, and someone like, let's say someone like myself who's, who may have ideas or may want to start up something or a business venture, but is afraid that they might not have the skills or know how to even approach you guys, or what are the steps do people or can people take in order for them to be part of collab?
Yeah, great question. So it might be helpful to give you an overview of sort of all of our programs because it kind of forms a pathway. And so one part of what we do, one core piece of what we do is what we call access, which means how can we create as many relationships in the communities as possible to get as many different people in the door knowing about Collab, engaging with us through our events and our office hours. So that's one sort of section of what we do, which is so getting involved with our events. Office hours are 30-minute sessions to just kind of talk with us about whatever anybody wants to talk to us about, whether they have an idea or not. It's open to the public. People can sign up multiple times. We've had people sign up every month for 3 months, like talking to us about the progress that they're making. So that's one concrete program that's open to anybody. And we really value access because the point of this, right, is to broaden our reach and to broaden what kind of entrepreneurship is supported and what kind of entrepreneurs we support, and particularly Black and Brown and women entrepreneurs. So that's one focus. And then we have the program, the accelerator. And the programming piece, which is the second core piece of what we do, is just designed to inspire, educate, and build confidence for the entrepreneurs who are ready to take things to the next level. Like if folks are like, I have this idea, I've been selling a little bit, or I've been making this kind of progress in that way. Now I really want to take it to the next level. That program provides, an 11-week workshop series, a mentor, connections to sort of pro bono technical assistance. We do a pitch day, and a variety of other things. And we provide wraparound services like childcare and transportation or interpretation if that's something that folks need. And so that's programming. And the last piece of what we do, which is further down that path, is what we call pathways, which is after that program, what else do they need? Do they need additional funding? Do they need a specific kind of mentor or advisor? What can we do to make sure that even after that 11-week program, folks feel really equipped and supported to continue to grow and move forward? That's kind of how it works, like the flow of different ways that we work with folks. Mm-hmm.
Well, you got me on childcare, because I was like, yeah, but right, okay, because one thing you find out when it comes to this kind of programs that empower community leaders, women of color, women in general, is that when it comes to specifically women, it's women that are mothers, they shy away from these programs and things like this, and in a way then they don't progress to the level that they could be in, right? Because they're running a household and as well children. It's a full-time job on its own, and having to balance that life can be hard, and to participate in things like this and grow ideas that women with children may be hard if there is no plan for childcare and all of those things. And I like that you guys have centered that around too, to keep that in mind, that it's a thing that exists. There's women, are not just only women without children, but there's women who are innovators, but they have children, and that needs to be seen and also be dealt with. That is kudos to you guys. Now, I want to move a little bit and just give you guys a little break and just breathe a little bit, and you can gather your thoughts about a lot more that you want to tell our viewers today. So this is WNHH 103.5 FM, Thabisa and Friends. I am here with Caroline Smith and Margaret Lee, as well as my colleague here, Clifford Schloss. Clifford, you are going to give us something. I would love for you to give our viewers something, because I know you are loved here. So people are here tuned in, waiting to hear what you have for them. I've been seeing you've been a little bit busy here and there. We can talk about that a little bit, but tell us what you're going to perform for us right now.
Yeah, so I figured I would perform something new that I haven't released yet, and the song actually doesn't have a name, but I like it a lot. So yeah, perfect. I was studying a lot of Carlos Jobim, and yeah, kind of came from that. So can you guys hear my guitar all right? Okay, cool.
Beautiful.
Right, I'm gonna go for it. 1, 2. Maybe the words we let out daily only almost, but so close to my heart. Slowly walking past seems hard, only viewing destinations. He's waiting for you here. Don't need to interfere. Love will see us clear. Don't need to interfere. An eternal story. Lately, it's easy, only breathe. I'm learning to feel freely. Mostly tending more upkeep. Nothing good comes cheap. Not good but commendable. Don't need to interfere. Love will see us clear. Don't need to interfere. Eternal story. Don't need to interfere. Love will see us clear. Don't need to interfere. Love will see us clear. Don't need to interfere. Love will see us clear. Don't need to interfere. Eternal story. Oh. Cool.
Wow, 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 wow. Bravo,
Thanks.
bravo, bravo.
Thanks.
That was beautiful. So that's a new song, Cliff. Tell us a little bit about the song. What inspired it?
Yeah, new song. I think, like, I'm a naturally moody person, but I want to make art that's like inspiring at the same time. Cause like I feel like I'm, I don't know. I feel like I simultaneously can feel super moody, but also like I always feel like loved all the time. If that makes sense. So I guess trying
Right.
to combine those like two counteractive like emotions, and I do feel like I don't know. The best thing to do, like, to make music that I feel lasts longer is to make it feel good to you. And I've just been like, I think I've been becoming more comfortable with like being vulnerable
Right.
in like lyrics and stuff. And I think
Right.
even if I think it sounds whack in the moment, like if I believe it, I think hopefully someone else will believe it. And if they don't,
Right.
like that's cool too. And I don't know. I feel more comfortable putting myself out there. So
Right.
I guess like yeah. Like in terms of what inspired it, besides that, also like I've been obsessing with trying to make things that kind of feel uncomfortable, like make sense, or like put things in a better context. Because I feel like there are some chords that by themselves are very ugly, but if they're next to other chords, they can be actually very beautiful and very profound. So I feel like I've been messing around with that a lot. Even with the chorus, like even messing around with like weird time signatures, but still making it feel good. You know what I mean? Like I guess my goal is to make you feel like you haven't before, but also kind of like good at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I totally understand that. And as a musician and an artist, like yourself, you want to experiment as well, right? In order for you to kind
Exactly.
of grow your skills and grow, your reach into your soul and also into your actual music, And so I think that's exactly what you're saying, like you are growing. This is what I can tell you that too. Like watching you from outside, you are growing and you are expanding and you are getting out there and, creating your own opportunities, you know what I mean? So, which is also part of growth, and I think that not a lot of people are able to do. So, so now do you have, well, first of all, I do know that you are also a teacher, right? You teach music, you teach children as well. Can you tell us a little bit about that before I go to my next question?
Yeah, so I guess to answer a short question with a long question, the way I got into teaching, when I was in high school, I didn't want to be a teacher. I was like, teaching's lame, etc., blah, 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 blah. So when I went to college for music, I was studying music composition at Hofstra University in Long Island. Because of X, Y, and Z, I wasn't able to go back for my sophomore year, and then I ended up working as a summer camp counselor for a neighborhood music school. This guy, David Mills, who I'm forever grateful for, he was leading the...
Such a lovely man.
He was leading the ukulele class for little kids, and he was like, hey, what are you doing during the fall? And I was like, nothing. So he was like, hey, you should come help me, because we're starting an after-school program. So that's how I ended up assistant teaching, and then that turned into me genuinely falling in love with the kids, and I don't know,
they love you.
I organically, I feel like I've always kind of loved nerding out and talking about things and explaining things. So I think I was just sort of fighting the natural pull of teaching that was already happening. But
you're such a natural.
Thank you. When I found myself in that situation, it was I was able to just accept that it was happening, and then actually sort of grow to love it. And now it's so weird. I can't see myself not teaching people.
Right. Well, let me just pause there, Cliff, and I will be back again with that other question I had in mind. This is WNHH 103.5 FM, Thabisa and friends. I'm here with my wonderful guests, and I want to go back again and talk about collab a little bit more. I heard you mentioning mentoring. One of the biggest things, being a child that grew up in a space that did not have a lot of opportunities and did not have a lot of resources that were, that were shared. I noticed growing up that there weren't any mentors, and there weren't people to look up to within my own community. TV was the best I could get, and because then the world was just too big for me to fathom that it is out there, because I was stuck in this place of poverty, pretty much, and that became sort of the only thing I know and think that is expected, of my life to become, right? And then I realized growing up and leaving that space and just venturing my own growth and going to college and all these things. And I realized, oh, this is bigger than this. Now I want to be big. I want to be better things. I want to be aspiring to be so many things. But now it was hard to do those things because I'd never seen someone model them to me, or except for what I see on TV, right? So you mentioned mentoring, and it makes me think of children. It makes me think of aspiring kids that want to become something. And with your program, I think you guys, you bring about that opportunity to bring those people that can be mentors, right? To the community. How does that work, first of all? How do people become mentors in this program?
First of all, thank you so much for sharing that. And Clifford, thank you so much for your performance. I thought that was beautiful, and so gentle and wise. So just thank you for that. And thank you for the question. It's a question I really identify with, and it's a question that was really important to us. As Margaret said, when we first started out, we talked to a lot of different entrepreneurs about what was standing in the way of them starting something. And, as we've mentioned, they mentioned logistical barriers, they mentioned financial barriers, but a big one that they mentioned were kind of what could be framed as psychological barriers, right? I don't identify with the word entrepreneur, because when I think about entrepreneur, I think about Steve Jobs or sort of older white men who are lauded or elevated in our society as entrepreneurs, and so they couldn't see themselves as entrepreneurs. It was really important to us when we were creating our mentor network, when we were creating our program, was to create space for individuals outside of me and Margaret, and who were not only industry experts, nonprofit experts, business experts, to provide some really concrete support for businesses, but also individuals that reflected the entrepreneurs that are in every single neighborhood in this city, such that individuals could relate not only about the business idea, but about the different roadblocks and barriers that specifically women, people of color, and immigrants might face. Because I think something what we've noticed is obviously there are different impediments to building a business. Maybe customers aren't biting, maybe your marketing isn't working, but also there are internal roadblocks as well. The limit on ourselves of what's possible for ourselves. I loved that you brought up, in some ways you brought up like the concept of imagination, right? Like if we can't envision what's possible for ourselves, then we have no chance of getting there. And I think that's what mentorship, what Clifford you do for young people and
exactly
is push our idea of what is possible for ourselves. Personally, that's why mentors are important to me, and also science fiction is important to me because it pushes what I believe is possible for a society. And that's at least one intent with our mentor network. And I think the last detail I'd say too is we've kept our mentor network fairly small. We're so proud of them. It's about a 20 to 30% group, and that's because, again, I think it's important to us for folks who want to be involved, and we're so excited. Please email us, come get involved. But it's really exciting to us to not only have people of industry expertise, but also people who ask good questions, are really good listeners. Because our fundamental belief with Collab is most of the time entrepreneurs know the answer to the questions that they're asking. They know their why. They know the direction they want to head. I think the best coaching and the best mentorship is just tapping into the answers that people already have within themselves. And so we get really excited who are excited about that listening, excited about asking those questions, as well as, of course, providing concrete expertise on LLC or, any number of different things. But that feels like the most critical part to mentorship. Margaret, I don't know if you'd want to add anything.
That was great.
Right. That was beautiful. Yeah, I know. Yes, that was great. And I must say this though, like as we are talking, I'm kind of having flashbacks right now because I remember once upon a time I did try to connect with you guys, and it was great. And while I was doing a little bit of my research with you guys, I ran into one of your emails that you sent me. I think maybe it was last year, and I think I stopped myself because I didn't feel ready with the idea I had. I think maybe it had to do with soap. But I thought maybe this is not the industry I want to go into. Really focused. And I remember the process that went through. It was brilliant. I've never felt so supported by a system that I was so new to, because I came into Collab not knowing what to expect, but I had this idea, and you guys walked me through it step by step, holding me back each Friday, I think, or but that wasn't that you guys did that. And someone who's feeling insecure about their ideas, they are coming the right place to have them grow. So I do encourage people that have amazing ideas that are young entrepreneurs and that are sometimes feeling insecure about those ideas. This is the place where you can actually live check them and see if you can get some sense of direction and eventually, make them come true. Because, everybody, I believe people are intelligent until they just, I don't know, that's the right word to use, but sort of taint it. I don't know. But I think everybody has great ideas. There's no small idea. Sometimes ideas, all they need is a little bit of financial backup, and then it becomes what it needs to be. So, and I think you guys offer all of that. So in my mind, I'm thinking as well, who fuels Collab? Like, who makes Collab's wheels move? Who is behind you guys, supporting you to become what you guys are for the rest of us? I don't know, you understand the question?
Yeah. We get a lot of different kinds of fuel from a lot of different groups of people, and I think like the mentor network that Caroline was referring to, like, we need that too, and we need that kind of support. We need that kind of advice, counsel, guidance. We have so many. We feel so lucky to be able to call on so many people in the city, outside of the city, and ask for their help in thinking through questions or encouraging us when we feel down, or all of those things. So that's a really big part of what fuels us, the people, the network of support that we have in our advisors and our mentors and our board members. So that's one huge source of fuel. We also get a lot of fuel from our entrepreneurs. We form really strong relationships with them. They push us, they challenge us, they shape our program with us. We make it a real point to get feedback from them about how to improve and really try to incorporate them into some of our brainstorming and our more structural conversations. And then in terms of just logistically how we're fueled, we're supported by the Community Foundation here in Greater New Haven, and the state of Connecticut through sort of a grant that and they're investing in different key cities around supporting entrepreneurs, especially underrepresented and underconnected entrepreneurs. And so we've been really fortunate to have those two big institutional funders, as well as a lot of different folks too, who have been sort of supportive in a variety of different ways in making this work. So it really does take a village. And, we feel so lucky to be able to facilitate all of the passion and energy that sort of comes our way through all of those different areas.
Right. Want to add something, Carolyn?
To that, Margaret, is I'm very fueled by you. Margaret and I have been working on this for the past 4 or so years, and we've just always had each other, and to work with another. Margaret and I share a lot of similarities. We're both originally from Kentucky. We're both Korean American. I'm half Korean. Margaret's full Korean. To work with another Korean woman is something I never imagined would ever be the case. I didn't even think that was a possibility, and I think we fuel each other a lot in the way that we push each other, and we laugh. And we're lucky to be connected to our families and our partners as well, and they're huge fuel for us.
Wow, that is incredible, ladies. I'm very happy for you, and also wishing you all the best in your toddler. Because it's a toddler now. How many years now? That collab has been 4 years.
3 years.
3 years.
Into our 3rd year full time, but we've been working on some version of it for 3 or 4 years.
Okay, so if the toddler is ready to run, okay, that's what I'm telling you. The toddler is ready to pick up and put on some boots and run. So you are well on your way there, and you're doing a fantastic job. So tell me, anything you have in mind, okay? But before that, 5 years. What is your goal? Where do you see yourselves on those boots as you're about to pick up those boots and tighten them and run? What do you see yourself? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? What are your goals?
Love that question. I mean, it ties back to the vision question. If we can envision it, it gets us closer there. So a few things come to mind. I'd love Margaret to add on. So I think one, as Margaret said, we really imagine ourselves as the sort of the first front door for entrepreneurs who want to enter into entrepreneurship, enter the ecosystem. A dream in the next 5 years would be for any entrepreneur, especially in New Haven, but also across Connecticut, if they want to start a business, Collab feels like it belongs to them. They know about it. They're like, Collab is a place I can trust. A Collab is a place that is constantly changing to adjust itself to what's sort of the changing attitudes or the changing needs. And so Collab is an adaptable, accessible organization that people know about. A second dream, and this is a little bit personal, but also relevant to Collab. And this happens already, but we're able to walk through New Haven neighborhoods and see our ventures in action. And again, this happens, seeing Sade Jean-Jacques, who's the founder of Pascal's Body Care, sell out at the Westville Art Walk, seeing Havenly Treats take over a restaurant space across from Criterion. It already is happening, but I think to see it even more at scale, what a special experience. And to watch, and even the individuals, entrepreneurs, because inevitably sort of failure, if you will, at your idea happens, and that's okay. But seeing individuals who maybe an idea didn't work out for them, rebound stronger and maybe invest in other ways, in other organizations or in their community work, and have gained some sense of confidence and connection as a result of Collab and their experience with us would be really, really exciting. And then lastly, I think, we've always known that Collab can't do this work alone. We are one organization that is going to support as many folks as we can, but we understand that it takes a coordinated set of resources, individuals, institutions, funders to really align along a shared set of values and priorities and commitments to support Black and Brown entrepreneurs, to support women entrepreneurs. And so we're interested in being a part of those conversations to bring all these different individuals together around real commitments around this work. Because we know, Collab supports early stage folks. What about the rest of the funnel? What about before Collab too? And so we get very excited about Collab being a part of not only supporting in its own role, but also helping to connect with other folks who are on the same page to really create a smooth pathway for entrepreneurs from start to finish of their journey.
Right. Wow, that's amazing. Margaret, is there anything you want to add to this? 5 years, what do you see yourselves as? I'm sure, I mean, that was mouthful. That was beautiful. Is there anything else you want to add to that?
For sure. I think one thing, Thabisa, that you said about like there are no small ideas really resonated with me. And I think one thing, and this is a little more abstract maybe, but I'd love to see Collab be a part of a conversation about just kind of busting us out of the sort of box of entrepreneurship that has been created. I think Caroline mentioned this about like the certain kinds of role models we have, the stories we tell about what entrepreneurship is, like sort of like move fast, break things, like disrupt industries, disrupt communities. Like it's a very sort of white male dominant narrative. And, if we can push on that a little bit and change what entrepreneurship feels like, looks like, is for our community members, like, can we, really invest in smaller scale businesses, right? Can we really invest in a more local economy that's self-sufficient, that sort of circulates money within our community instead of sort of always striving to be sort of this global empire, right? Can we have conversations like that? Can we be a part of it? Can we spur it? Can our entrepreneurs be role models for others? And can we just change the conversation about what it means to do something worthwhile in the for-profit world? It's here. The for-profit world is here. It's a part of our lives. And so how can we adapt it, change it, push it to be more community-minded and more embedded within the values that are really important to me and Caroline and a lot of the people that we talk with. And so that's one thing that comes to mind in addition to some of the things that Caroline said. Part of that might be like, how do we invest in cooperatives, like worker-owned co-ops? Can we, so that's something that we've talked about a lot. And so that kind of push really excites me too.
Right. Wow, this is amazing. I am happy that you guys are here. It's such a great honor to have you guys on this Monday noon. I was gonna say morning, but it's by the way, morning to me can be 1:00 because COVID-19 has gotten me messed up with time. Just don't tell people right now. But anyway, I'm so happy to have you guys here. It's so exciting to have wonderful, young, motivated, visionaries, young ladies, just carving their path. And you guys are just such a great example. And keep up the great work. And people are watching. And so keep on moving forward. I'm gonna move on a little bit now to my friend here, Cliff. Excuse me. I'm gonna move to you, Cliff. I want you to tell us a little bit. What's your vision for this year? Under these COVID times, we know that the work is hard for artists. We have to reimagine things now. We're seeing screens, not people, and things are just messed up, to say the least. So tell me, what's your plan?
Yeah, my plan. So, I mean, obviously before COVID, I was going to be playing with you and like other people and for myself, etc., etc. But I actually feel very fortunate that I have the means to, like I'm doing right now. I have this equipment to like perform like in this like level of quality, like for things. And so I guess I'm just like, counting my blessings and then taking advantage of this time and the technology that I like am grateful to have, and just trying to work as much as possible. I every time I read about someone that like I really admire, or like stereotypical like the greats that I feel like we should all try to like become it. I always see the common, even though they're all very different personalities. The common thing I think is just like constantly just working. And I think I personally, I feel like I'm a little bit of a perfectionist with some stuff. And because of that, I feel like I'll make something and then I don't like it and then I'll walk away from it, etc., etc. So I think this isolation has actually been good for me to like make things and not be so like attached to them. Like, I mean, still feel them, but not, like not have like I think before, even though this sounds so ridiculous, I really did feel like, like my self-worth was like in my art. But like now I no longer feel that way. I think I can just make a song, and that song can be good or bad. And I feel like I'm able to just like create more. So I'm very hopeful that I can, like I just released like 2 songs a couple weeks ago.
Oh wow.
I've been working on for a really long time. Like because I think of that of like that perfectionism of trying to get them like really down. But one of those songs actually I made in like a couple days, and I think that kind of proved to me that like that I'm capable of just churning stuff out. And so I've felt the necessary pressure to just keep doing that. And it's also been very inspiring to see other people who like I've been obsessed with like mixing and all that stuff for a really long time. And seeing other musicians who haven't been doing that stuff also push themselves to do that is like I feel like it's helping me push myself too. So it's kind of like a
there are some perks with this. There are some perks with this COVID-19 time, pandemic time, because I have, like you, Cliff, I have found myself being an engineer now, found myself being a producer. But I'm like, what is happening? I produced my first track a couple of weeks ago because the times that we were in, there was no choice. There was no one else to do it for me. I had an idea and I had to put it down, and I figured it out. Otherwise, if it wasn't any other time, I wouldn't have figured it out. And now I came up with a beautiful song, which I'm still working on. Because that song is just brilliant. You guys, I'll give you a taste after the show. But I agree with you. It's these times have really put us in a spot now where we are actually introspecting, and not only that, we are learning new skills to survive this time and use what we have. And as well as before you give us a song, Cliff, I would really love to give a shout out to you guys, first of all, collab, but also to the Arts Council. What they do for the artists here in Connecticut, right? Like in Hartford, in New Haven. Do they go to Hartford actually? I wonder. But I know here in New Haven, they do a wonderful job to try their best to support artists, finding resources for us as artists and people that are aspiring to be artists. But I want to give kudos to them, and as well as Connecticut Office of the Arts. I think they're doing a wonderful job. They're such a small staff, but you would swear that they are a whole group. But they are just like a handful of people that are there to try to find means and ways to support people like Collab and us as artists and a whole lot more. So kudos to them as well, because I know a lot of people and a lot of artists, they feel unsupported by their arts organizations and all of that. And in some countries, even corruption, so these monies don't get to the actual people in the community. But these guys are making sure that the monies get to the community, and the community is inspired, and the community is creating, and everybody is able to do what? Create that community well. Cliff, can you please give us a song?
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, just doubling everything said. I feel very grateful, I feel very loved, and I kind of feel like you're saying, like, now that I feel like a thing to do to kind of pay that back is just do it. You know what I mean? Right. So with that, I'll play a song. This was like my attempt at making like it's kind of something a little poppy but still super jazzy, and it's called Mellow. Okay, here we go. It's true, the world stays green and blue, and every day is something new to you. Just me and you. The truth never showed this face before. It's true, some sense has gone through. Inside bitter to brew, but I'll gladly keep you in parts of me that need tending to. Echoes in past thoughts crashing, memories flashing, now from within. Let this wisdom lead me. Echoes in past thoughts crashing, memories flashing, now from within. Let this wisdom lead me. Guitar solo. stays green and blue, and every day is something new to you, just me and you. The truth never showed its face before. It's true, some sense has gotten through. Outside bitter tea to brew, but I'll gladly keep viewing parts of humanity tending to echoes here past thoughts crashing, memories flashing, mellow from within. Let this wisdom leave me. Echoes here past thoughts crashing, memories flashing, mellow from within. Let this wisdom leave me. Cool. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. A shameless plug. Google me. You can listen to it where music is available. SCHLOSS. Cool. Thabisa, I can't hear you. I think you're muted.
All that I said so many wonderful things. Nobody heard them. I'm so upset right now.
I felt them. Thank you.
You felt them, right? So you can follow Cliff. I can follow Cliff on Instagram as well. I_am_sarcasm. What is that name? Is it sarcasm? Is it, what is it?
Sarcasm.
Yeah, sarcasm. Yeah, right. Yes, that is. I don't know why he decided to name his Instagram handle that instead of Cliff Clifford Slush. That's it. No, he went with sarcasm. So yeah. Yes.
Well, yeah, you just search my name and pop up.
Yeah, it'll pop up. So, ladies, thank you, and gentlemen, thank you for coming. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And before we go, I'm just gonna give one of you guys, because Harry now is gonna, send us out. But again, to our viewers, you are listening to Thabisa and Friends on WNHH 103.5. A little bit, one sentence with anything you want to say, ladies, within this program. And also, don't forget to mention about Accelerator again, so that people, I know Margaret, you talked about it a little bit, but maybe just to remind people to apply. Please do that for me.
Yes. So thank you so much to both of you for sharing this space with us. This was so fun. Our accelerator is accepting applications right now. The application deadline is September, keep me honest here, Caroline, I should know this, 6th. So you can come check us out at collab, COLLAB, newhavenspelledout.org, and you can see our program, and you can sign up for office hours. Just talk to us about your application if folks are interested in applying.
Excellent. Well, thank you, ladies. Have a wonderful week. Go get it. Do anything and everything that's going to make you happy and make this community, a better place. Thank you, Cliff, and keep on writing, keep on being you, and you're going to go find your life. Thank you, Harry. King Harry, come on, send me out in style.